I was engaged to design the layout and the interiors of the yacht, and we built the interiors in Holland, but using a lot of British makers and manufacturers, including, of course, Donnie & Hamlin, who did the majority of the light fittings on board. Most of the projects I work on have to be bespoke by the nature of them. This feels like a historically original interior, but it isn't. It's a brand new room, and it has to feel period appropriate. So to think that you can find either an antique fitting or something off the peg that would fit is highly unlikely. And also there's a commercial timetable to work to. So designing the fittings and having them made bespoke by Donnie & Hamlin was the most sensible solution for this project. Donnie & Hamlin have been around for over 150 years, and they've gained a lot of knowledge about how to create, make, maintain aesthetically pleasing and practical light fittings. So whenever I design a fitting, it's not just making something that looks beautiful, it's also creating something that's easy to maintain. This is the dining room, which is probably the heart of the yacht. So everybody either eats here 3 times a day or on the upper deck, depending on the weather. But it's a very important part of the owner's intentions for the boat, which is to entertain friends and family. And a small room like this, it's important to create some kind of architectural language that feels appropriate. And the lights are sort of lead piece in this room. And it was a lovely thing to work on with Denny's when we worked on that, but that was a little bit of a project in itself. And we took this octagonal star detail, created the light fitting, working with samples of bronze extrusion, brass extrusions from Donnie & Hamlin. And I wanted to make sure that it felt impressive, period appropriate, and that it fitted within the space and wasn't overbearing. So some of the things in the yacht were found. There is a light fitting here which was a cup that I found in the Marché aux Puces in Paris. And the owner liked the shape, I really liked the shape, and we mounted it on a marble block, had another one spun, copied, and then it's in a sort of black chrome finish. It was originally silver plate, but I wanted something that felt sort of period appropriate, and it's an original piece, but then the second one was paired to it and made by Derniers for the yacht. So the finishes are different in different cabins, different rooms. In here, they're bronze finish. They've got a milk glass in them. The lights are vented through the top. You can probably see a little bit of a glow because I wanted to use traditional bulbs in them, lamps as they're supposed to call them, because I wanted to create an atmosphere that felt appropriate. It is right to use LEDs and low energy bulbs, but sometimes the color isn't quite right or the rendering isn't quite correct. So I usually use a layering of different types of light sources in a room, and experimenting with these are actually halogen capsules, which give the right warmth of light and dim easily without interfering with the wavelength of the light and creating that sort of strobing effect that you get with LEDs. So yeah, it's a combination of using the right technology within the fitting, and then also designing it so it's practical to maintain and use on board. We're in the guest companionway, passageway on board Malahne, and one of the nice things was obviously creating the bespoke fittings which you've got on the ceiling and the picture light, but also some antique original fittings, which were these wall lights from the original Queen Mary, and I found 2 originals and then had 4 copies made, and the 2 originals are in the yacht store in case we ever need to find some spares, and the 4 copies that were made by Donnie & Hamlin are actually here in the guest passageway. The yacht is probably my favourite project to date, although I love all the work that I do, but this one is a very special one for me. Mostly everything was bespoke and commissioned from Denny and Hamlin, and it's been an ongoing relationship throughout my professional career. I hope the finished effect feels like the yacht's always been here, but all of it is brand new.